Microsoft sold Mac users a version of its Office in 2019 that it said this is a one-time perpetual license. Well, in July of 2026, that perpetual license will be no more. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. If you like this type of content, subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Leave us a like and a comment down below. And of course, if you're one of the ones that catches my weekly videos, but not the live, yes, you will notice I am in a studio. We have actually worked on building out a studio for a little bit, and this is where we will be doing things for a while. I am still tweaking the background a little bit, just an FYI on that. That being said, though, what we are going to do today is we are going to talk about this situation with Microsoft Office for Mac, the 2019 perpetual version. While they told us it is a perpetual license and that you will never have to replace it, well, it turns out that not only do you have to replace it, but you have to go through a choose your own adventure in order to figure out exactly why that happens to be. And I'm here today to demystify this. So from Mac Rumors, there is an article here. Microsoft will prevent Office 2019 for Mac owners from editing documents from July 13th and on. So effectively what has happened is software that has to go onto the internet, like Microsoft Office likes to do, these things have to have a certificate, and those certificates are expiring. Now, if you have the older versions, like I think they did a 2023, or maybe, I think they did a 2024, maybe a 2022 or something a little bit later than 19, not as early as the current one. Those ones are still receiving security updates. So while they update, they will get that certificate. But the 2019 has reached technically end of life. So the official position on it is that it will not be getting any more security updates. As it will not be getting any more security updates, it will not get the renewed certificate. Even though it would be easy to push a one-time update simply to update that certificate and allow all of these perpetual license users to keep using their perpetual license, Microsoft is choosing not to do so because there's money to be made. Of course. So this kind of goes over what's going on here. It just talks about the fact that the security update is the security certificate is going to expire. You can still get those updates for the more recent versions, but then they're also engaging in dark patterns to get everybody on the subscription model. Now, we have covered it before that Microsoft has committed to at least one more round, not more than two, but one more round of perpetual license Microsoft Office documents. But for those that have purchased it and still have a functioning Mac that they purchased that version of the software for, which could have been not just 2019, but up to the next version, 2019, 2020, 2021, whatever the next version happens to be. It looks like Office 2021. So you could have gotten this from 2019, 2020, maybe even into 2021. You could still get this, this version of the Office suite available, in which case you had only a few years with it before it's done. And I hear some people, well, you know, you can't expect to support it forever. Companies like LibreOffice do. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But what happens is you jump on over and you start playing the choose your own adventure of your Office suite demise. So update Microsoft Office 365 or Office on your Mac OS or iOS device. So starting in starting in July 13th, 2026, some users may notice Office apps can open and print files, but cannot edit, save, or create new files. This is called reduced functionality mode. Happens when support for Microsoft apps is no longer continued for older operating systems or devices. This issue affects both Office 365 subscribers on Mac OS, iPhone, iPad, and those on non-subscription software, including Office 21, Office 19 on Mac. Most users updating your OS and updating your app will simply resolve it. So in the effective date, what you'll experience, you can open, view, and print, but you cannot edit or save. And of course, you need to update your OS and then update your Office apps. Now, this is what you have to do your choose your own adventure. If you have Office 2019, go to the Office 2019 section. If you use Office 365 through your work or school, go to update your Microsoft Office. I have Office 19. I guess I have to go the choose your own adventure and go into here. And I believe that is this one here. So if you have Office 2019 for Mac, Office 2019 for Mac reached the end of support on October 10th, 2023, will no longer receive updates. Now, mind you, they could very easily push an update in this software, update that certificate, and allow those perpetual license users who purchased a perpetual license to keep using it. But notice the interesting trickery. You do realize that the California bill, which apparently is toothless, according to reports that Louis Rossman has collected from California users, that file, that digital download, which is a purchase, has to be valid for, I think it's at least 5 years, or at most 5 years. It has to be valid. Yeah, it has to be valid for at least 5 years. And 2019, 2026. Oh, so it depends on your interpretation. Is this when it was released, or is this when it was last supported? So they may even be in the clear in a state that follows good practice about consumer rights. They might actually be in a good place looking at how this works. And so I don't know exactly what's going on. But regardless, if you're on Office 2019, which we're here because we click through on the Choose Your Own Adventure, you will no longer receive the updates because it cannot be updated. No, it can be. They just choose not to, you see. To the required version, the issue cannot be resolved by updating or reinstalling Office 2019 for Mac. More information, go to the end of support for Office 2019 for Mac. Ooh, we have that. Or if you're using Office 365 for the web, you can go here, or you can subscribe down here, and then there's some frequently asked questions. Well, let's go ahead and follow the end of support for Office 2019 for Mac, because I like Choose Your Own Adventures. Do you like Choose Your Own Adventures? I do. So, end of support for Office 2019 for Mac. Oh, okay. So, this is published May 15th, 2026. Support for Office 2019 for Mac ended October 10th. Rest assured that all your Office apps won't lose data. Your data can be accessed on any supported Office 365 or Office product. However, you could expose yourself to serious and potentially harmful security risks, because we expired our certificate and are not updating it for you, despite you purchased a license. Now, here's where we started in with the dark patterns. Buy or try Office 365. Here's what the end of it means. You'll no longer receive Office updates. You'll no longer receive security updates. You'll no longer receive phone and technical support. No further updates. Support content will be provided. In fact, most online content will be retired. And then important Office 2019 update is the last build that supports Office 2019 license types. So there you go. Why are they doing this? It just has to do with the expiry of the certificates, which is fine. What are my options? And this is where we get into some fun dark patterns. Recommended upgrade to Microsoft 365, the subscription version of Office. Look at this big, shiny, amazing button. It's a wonderful, jolly button. Okay. And so that, or you can buy Office for Mac over here. Now, if you click on this link down here, it actually takes you to the sales page for Microsoft Office for the Perpetual license. They just don't really want to sell you that because they're only scraping you for $179. But if you click on this button here, it also takes you to the buy, and you can actually come over here and you can pick this guy up, and now you will be in their perpetual money making machine. And so, oh Lord, I just want to know the price. What are you doing? Okay, let's go. Let's assume you're an individual here. So personal plans, look at this, $99.99 a year. So I could buy Office for $179, which should last longer than 5-6 years. But hey, at least if you got 5 years out of it, that's still a far better deal than paying $100 every single year to access these software applications. But you did notice those dark patterns, right? Looking at those dark patterns, you got a big, shiny, jolly, candy-like button for this one here. Or you just have these simple little links down here because, we don't really want you clicking these boring links. We want to draw your attention to this one, and that is called the dark pattern. That is illegal in some jurisdictions, so somebody out there, check if it is in your jurisdiction and update the internet accordingly. So, of course, the Office 2019 for Mac license, if you choose to upgrade it, you simply need to remove the existing 2019 Mac license, but you won't need to remove the other apps. So, literally, the applications are remaining the same. You just need to remove the license and add a new license, which they couldn't do for you automatically despite you purchased a Perpetual product. Sounds like Microsoft is scraping some money here. Now, I will notice that the dark patterns are also over here. How do you upgrade Office? And again, here's your non-subscription. And you go down here. Here's your Office 365, of course. It's just simple links. The non-subscription over here, once again, we got the buy or try Office and the jolly candy-like button. Or you can just buy it right over here. Notice they just do not want you to buy the Perpetual license. They do not make enough money off of you. They must engage in the dark pattern to get you to subscribe, so you'll be subscribing to your software for the rest of your life. Now, if you like subscribing software for the rest of your life, there are other options, including some free options as well. Proton actually does have collaborative documents. Now, they don't have the full Office suite, but most people don't need the whole thing. If you just need like documents and maybe even spreadsheets, you can come down here and you can do documents or spreadsheets. They're collaborative. You can get this as part of a Proton drive. So you can go ahead and let's see what the pricing is here. So the free version is 5 gig, and it does give you apparently the full thing for free. You can do $3.99 a month for 200 gig, and then you have everything in 10 years to recover previous file versions. So you get more file version. Then you get the 500 gig plus the VPN for $10 a month. So let's see. And is this a yearly? That's a yearly. So you'd be billed a little bit more than Microsoft's for this one. Now, a lot less for this one, $3.99 per month. If you want to do monthly instead, is it the same price? Okay, so monthly you're paying $4.99. If you buy a year up front, it's $3.99 per month. So if you do want those collaborative documents, you can use something like Proton, which I'd highly recommend over Microsoft. Now, I personally don't have a huge need for online collaborative, and I host my own Nextcloud instance with Calibora Office, so I'm okay without needing this feature. But I do use Office documents daily, and I use LibreOffice, which is an amazing Office suite. It's full-featured, including those expensive, pricey database systems, drawing, mathematics. It has the presentations. It has everything all offline, never going onto the internet without your say-so. In fact, it doesn't go on the internet much, even with your say-so. But completely free. And I would highly recommend, if you can, help support the project. But they're not like, hey, I know that things are down for you right now, but give us a bunch of money. They're not doing that. But LibreOffice is an excellent suite. Frankly, I think it's better. In fact, in my testing, it certainly is better than other things like OnlyOffice, which is another valid option choice if you want to go with this route. It is a little bit more designed like Microsoft Office, of course, if you do not enable the modern toolbars in LibreOffice. And some people say it's more compatible. I do not know if it's technically more compatible or not. I do know that OnlyOffice is much more limited. I also notice up here what you can't notice, but my extension is blocking Google Tag Managers, a Zendesk, and some other third-party product over there. My blockers have found that. LibreOffice apparently is a clean website, not doing a bunch of tracker stuff. So that's actually pretty nice. So I'd recommend doing this because, so if you're on a Mac, and this is supported by Mac, I know I use Linux, this is available for Mac, just have a look over the download page. It will automatically detect what you want. It detects some on Linux, but you can actually come down here, change your operating system. You can go with the x86, you can go with the ARM64, which will support the modern silicon chips, and you can go ahead and download your version of this. And if you are one of the poor people that has Office 2019 and you're like, I wanted to a perpetual license. I don't like all this cloud crap. Hey guys, instead of giving Microsoft another $179 for the latest version that they're going to pull out from under you, go ahead over to LibreOffice, download this instead, and you're going to have a perpetual license that's never going to charge you anything. It's not going to expire because they'll just keep updating it for you. And if you do find that beneficial and you can help support LibreOffice, I would highly recommend you do that. All that being said, though, Microsoft is pulling the rug out from people who thought they were getting a perpetual license. Don't let them do that. Download LibreOffice instead. If you need those cloud infrastructures, there's Proton. There are a few other good options, including OnlyOffice does have your cloud-based infrastructure as well. That is one of the, it's hard to find exactly where it is. But you can actually get the OnlyOffice cloud infrastructure stuff as well. That's all paid as well. But there are options out there that are outside of Microsoft. And I hear the complaints. Some people say, but Microsoft is the standard in the industry. No, Microsoft has made themselves to be the quote unquote standard in the industry. And the standard in the industry, by the way, applies to like 0.1% of documents and spreadsheets and things. Nearly everything most people do in an Office suite, you can do just fine. In fact, as me, it's like, don't be like, well, you can't use it professionally. Dude, I am a professional. I even write and publish books, designing all of the books I send to the same book publishers, the same book printers that print every other book in the world. I do them all on LibreOffice. Do it all. It is very bit as compatible. It's just Microsoft has polluted the world into thinking you need their stuff so they can treat you like a widget and extract as much money from you. And frankly, Bill Gates has enough money. Maybe he should just take that money, buy an island, and like go live down there and leave the rest of society alone. But Microsoft corporate just doesn't need any more of our money. Times are tight. Download LibreOffice. You will be happier for it in the end. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below.